Hi, I'm Nick Aldridge. I'm a principal engineer at AWS, focusing on agentic AI. I've been at AWS for about 6 years and worked on a bunch of our AI products, including Lex, Bedrock, and now Amazon Bedrock Agent Core. I'm also representing Amazon on the MCP steering committee and the A2A steering committee, so I'm deeply excited about the protocols as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Akarsha Sehwag and I'm a GenAI data scientist with the Agentic AI team at AWS.
I'm Madhu Samhita Vangara, a specialist solution architect as a part of Agentic AI Bedrock go-to-market team.
Hi there, my name is Siamak, and I lead the Q for ISC team here at AWS.
At the advent of the LLM revolution, LLMs were not quite good enough to do orchestration, which is one of the key things agents need to accomplish their work. And over the past 2 years, those LLMs have really improved drastically to the point where they can not only do orchestration, but they can independently execute work for long periods of time over complex tasks. And so I think now we're finally at the moment where LLMs are able to do a broad set of things, and we have amazing innovations like MCP, which are enabling us to empower those agents with tools that magnify their capabilities. I think really what we want to do is solve all the significant common problems in building agents so customers can build faster and not need to solve these problems again. This is what the stack looks like today in AWS. You can see Agent Core fits in the middle between the infrastructure layer, like the models, and some of the sophisticated SDKs and frameworks like Strands. And one of the products I'd like to talk to you about today is Amazon Bedrock Agent Core Gateway. And Gateway is solving a more specific problem. And that problem is, how can we make it easy for agents to interact with the tools, agents, and other resources they need to get things done? This is a quick diagram of what Gateway looks like. Gateway sits in between your agent and other agents, tools, and resources, and manages all of the complexity of security, credential exchange, API mapping between your agent and the things it's trying to use. Now, some of the benefits of Agent Core specifically include semantic tool selection, which helps your agent find the best tools for its given use case. Atomic toolset updates, so as your tools change, those changes are applied atomically. Tool collision avoidance, so as the number of tools grows, it ensures your names don't collide. MCP protocol compliant OAuth, so you can ensure your Agent Core Gateway can act like an MCP server with compliant authorization. Secure credential exchange, so you can ensure that your Gateway maps to the appropriate API keys, IAM roles, or OAuth tokens it needs to call the tools it interacts with. Auditing and logging, as I mentioned, and infrastructure as code. So Gateway is really a comprehensive AI gateway. Now, today we have started with MCP protocol as the primary protocol for interacting with Gateway, and it primarily supports operations over tools like list tools and invoke tool. You can hook up API endpoints using OpenAPI specs and Smithy models. You can also connect AWS Lambda targets. And each of these API specs or Lambda targets can have a variety of tools. They can be hosted, these APIs can be hosted on any compute. And as I said, they can use a variety of authorization regimes. And Gateway can create a unified interface for your agent from all of them. Amazon Bedrock Agent Core makes it super easy to get started, and Gateway is no exception. So we have this quick start guide, which lets you set up a gateway in less than 5 minutes. And this guide is on GitHub. I'm just going to copy the first cell and paste it in here. And I'm going to add one line just so that we'll also have an access token and run it. What this is going to actually do, it's going to create an OAuth authorizer because I don't already have one. It's going to set up a gateway using that OAuth authorizer. And that gateway is going to act as my universal entry point for all of the tools I want to connect to the agent. And it will also act as an MCP server. So it's completely protocol compliant, implements auth in a protocol compliant way. And it also manages the translation of MCP requests into the languages that my APIs need. So I can take my existing business logic and plug it into this gateway and get out MCP tools that my agent can actually use. And so for this particular demo, we're going to attach one target which is a Lambda function. And that Lambda function has two tools. It has a getTime and a getWeather tool. And then you'll also notice the search tool, which is our own in-house tool that we use to do tool selection. I'll also be showing MCP Inspector in this demo, which is an awesome open source tool that lets you take a look at an MCP server, play around with it. And I really encourage folks at the hackathon to try this one out. So you can just see this notebook running. It successfully created the gateway, and it's just waiting now for the IM propagation. Earlier, it spent like a minute just waiting for the DNS propagation. So we just built in those sleeps to make sure that all of the permissions and everything propagate accordingly so that it's ready to go when you get started. But these operations take like milliseconds. So we're just waiting on the propagation. And we can just take a quick look at what it's done so far. So it successfully created the gateway, and we have this URL. This URL is unique to the gateway, and we can actually take it and paste it into the MCP inspector. And then we can go grab the access token that I'm going to use to connect to that gateway right here. And the setup completed, so that's great. We can expand the authorization section here. And we don't need this, but we do need this. And there we go. So now we have everything running, and we can list the tools. So we have 3 tools, like I said, on this server. We have a getTime, getWeather, and search tool. Let's try the getTime one. We just hard-coded the output in this Lambda, but we can say our time zone is PDT and run the tool, and it gives us an output. So this is like an end-to-end flow we were able to set up with Gateway in a couple of minutes. And now I can go modify that Lambda function, change the tools, and I don't even have to touch the Gateway at all. And now my agent will have all kinds of new agent-ready tools that it can start using. And I don't even have to modify my agent code significantly. I just have to integrate the MCP client, and I'm kind of done. In fact, the Quick Start also has some nice code for doing that. You can copy and paste this code if you want, and directly in your notebook, it'll just run an agent, and it handles the access token and everything. So I could do the same thing here. I could say, like, what's the time? And the agent will think and actually know to use that tool. And it will actually ask for a time zone, and I can say PDT or something, and it will correctly invoke the getTime tool and give back the current time. We're still in the early days of Amazon Bedrock Agent Core, so I'm really excited what folks do with it. And I've seen things which I didn't expect already. For example, I saw one customer integrate SageMaker models as an MCP server through Amazon Bedrock Agent Core Gateway, which is a use case I totally did not expect. And what I find in this industry is that there are zillions of use cases that I could not have imagined. So I'm really excited to see what comes out of the hackathon, and I'm definitely going to tune in and take a look at the demos.
It's just crushed the boardroom demo, and executives are now asking the million-dollar question: when can we go live? Well, congratulations. You have just entered the most critical phase of your AI journey. But here's when reality hits. There's a massive chasm between a working demo and a production-ready system. And suddenly you're facing so many questions that never came up in your POC. How do you scale beyond those initial test cases that handle real enterprise load? How will your agent remember the questions across thousands of users?
And you're now staring at the production chasm even deeper, managing user permissions to what your agent has access to and who has access to your agents, integrating with dozens of enterprise APIs, monitoring what's happening under the hood when you encounter errors, and ensuring your systems don't crash. All these production challenges are what we call the undifferentiated heavy lifting. It is critical work that must be done, but it takes your focus away from the actual business logic or the use case that you are trying to solve.
And that's exactly why we built Agent Core, to eliminate this undifferentiated heavy lifting and to get you from POC to production at lightning speed. With fully managed services that handle all the infrastructure complexity, you can focus on what matters. Delivering groundbreaking agentic solutions that drive real business impact and not wrestling with, the plumbing that makes it work. All right, so what we did beforehand is to create an agent and to seed that agent with some previous interactions which in your case you would build over time, right? So we have talked a little bit about my MacBook Pro. I've talked a little bit about gaming headphones that I'm interested in. So based on that, it extracted some memories, and it's talking about, the user is looking for programming laptop, this is the preferences of the user, and they have complained about overheating problems. So let's perhaps maybe ask a question about headphones. Hey, recommend me some headphones. Very simple questions. So let's just try to see if it remembers that I have before talked about gaming headphones for low latency, right? So let's check it out. And you see, it does remember that my interest is in gaming headphones with low latency for competitive FPS. And this is, just to be clear, this is a new session that is being created. So it is able to recall the previous interactions of the user to give more personalized and a better response to the user, instead of me giving a detailed question of, this is my preferences, this is how I like my headphones to be like, etc., etc. And we can also look at how it looks on the dashboard. So we can also look at the logs.
So to do that, currently we have deployed this agent with short-term and long-term memory capabilities on Agent Core Runtime, integrating it with CloudWatch GenAI Observability dashboard. So on your CloudWatch dashboard, you will be able to get visibility into all your agents hosted on Bedrock Agent Core Runtime or off runtime. So here we can see that the customer support agent that we hosted, we can get into the details where we get various metrics associated with this, all the sessions and traces associated with this customer support agent. You can also analyze the token usage, any errors and latency by span metrics and error rates associated with it. Here we can see we have so far not encountered any system errors, thankfully so. So within the traces view, you get an entire view with all the traces associated with this specific customer support agent. Clicking on one will give you a detailed view into the execution of subspans and subspans, where you will get visibility into what are the tools that were called, what were the memory resources that were invoked, etc. So here, you can see that you get two separate views within your agent execution. One is the timeline view that shows the individual latencies associated with each span and subspans. Along with that, you also get a trajectory view that takes you through the execution path of the agent. Here we can see that the agent has retrieved memory from the long-term memory to identify the user's preference and also create a short-term memory event to store the current execution. We can see that it used the get product info tool to fetch the relevant information based on the user's request and collate all of this information together with the help of underlying foundation models. To get more hands-on resources to walk you through a variety of tutorials with each of the Agent Core services, we have published Amazon Bedrock Agent Core samples that also have guided workshops that we have published that will take you through the journey of learning the different building blocks required to develop agentic AI applications.
If you go to workshops.aws and search for Agent Core, you would find the Getting Started workshop and the Deep Dive workshop, which will take you through a business use case and also a very detailed technical aspect of things, of how exactly can you build using Agent Core in your existing ecosystem.
Q Business is an enterprise AI assistant product, which enables you to ground the AI assistant in enterprise knowledge and have personalized data returned to the AI assistant so that you can ask common questions that is grounded in the source of truth in the enterprise. Let me give you an example. Imagine you are about to launch a marketing campaign and you're writing your artifacts in, let's say, a Google Doc. You're tracking your project in Asana, and you're collaborating in Zoom. Now, all these products have their own AI companions, but none of them get the full picture in the enterprise. For example, your progress in your artifacts within Google Docs does not tie back to Asana, and your project schedule is not available in Zoom, and so on and so forth. So the result is fragmented insights that do not connect. And what AI is actually really good at is connecting the dots and signals across massive data sets. But if all these applications operate in silos, those insights never connect. And that's the problem we are solving with QIndex. Our vision for AI is that AI needs to be available where work happens. And this will avoid context switching and the friction involved in getting your job done. So with Amazon QIndex, we create a single source of truth for enterprise and allow third-party applications secure access to that enterprise knowledge. So if you're a builder and you are building an AI application that needs to be grounded in your customer's enterprise knowledge, this is where you can integrate with QIndex and the Search Relevant Content API to pull this knowledge into your application. For example, what you see on the screen right now shows on the left side the customer environment, and on the right side, your application environment. Within the customer environment, QIndex ingests data from all these different applications that you see on the left into the Amazon QIndex in a secure way, because not only we ingest content, we also ingest permissions to that content. Then on the right side is your application. It can be a Gen AI application or any kind of AI workflow application that you have. And it needs access to the enterprise knowledge. And that's where, through the data accessor mechanism, you can pull enterprise knowledge into your application. If you're an application builder and you were building a business application that needs to go beyond the data available in your app and bring data from all other applications that your business users use every day, this is where integration with QIndex becomes critical to your application, because it enables secure and comprehensive access to enterprise knowledge for your business users. I encourage you to build business applications with a focus on solving the data silo problem that exists today. With QIndex, we give you the tools to complete that and build ambient and proactive AI where work happens.
So we hope that you're going to join the hackathon and see you there.
I'm really excited to see what you all build with Gateway, and happy hacking.